Hello and welcome back to Stars Without Number Abaddon, Season 3, Episode 8. It's Episode 8, Part 2. I got through that.
Part 7.
I got through it. Not well, but I got through it.
We're all gonna die horribly.
I really hope not. Liam, how are we all gonna die horribly?
Augur, where do we see you?
Okay, so I think we see a time lapse of Augur standing exactly where the conversation finished and people milling around them. And
Sure.
it starts in real time and slowly speeds up. The little thing on the spider on Augur's shoulder just stands there motionless, the light facing forward. I think maybe Augur's in them, like standing to the side of a hallway, just staring at people. After a certain amount of time has passed, quite a bit, Augur starts walking. I think we just hear the sounds of people mining in the backgrounds as they walking. Sure. And Augur wants to find someone like this is Matt. Matt would like the person Augur to find be like an older person, like an older miner who's probably shouldn't be mining anymore or on break somewhere. Maybe with broken down equipment or something. Or, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you find someone who's like, maybe like tinkering on like an exosuit or something like that, like a powered exosuit. An older guy.
Excuse us, are you busy?
He like kind of like looks down at the bit, whatever part he's working on, and says, well, I've been working on this particular thing for the last 3 hours, and it doesn't quite look like I'm going to get anything done for the rest of the day because, well, I don't have the fucking parts I need to get this thing working. So, I guess no. He turns to face you. Oh. And you are here for...
Oh, hello. We are the Herald Augur. You are...
He is Frank.
He is.
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Says, Jefferson.
Going straight for the founding fathers, eh?
It is a pleasure to meet you, Jefferson. We are stuck in a moral quandary, and we would hoping that you would be able to help us.
Just kind of stares at you.
Our friend Miriam has taught us that nothing should be done without a price. So if we help you fix your equipment, maybe make it a little bit better, will you aid us in attempting to solve our moral quandary? We're good with machines.
You'll fix this, or try to. And in response, I need to answer a question.
Have a conversation with us.
Sure. He gestures at his tools and says, "You're more than welcome to try."
All right. Yeah, I want to I have $2,000 worth of spare parts, and I imagine I keep a certain amount of them on me at any time.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to identify what's wrong with this thing and try to fix it.
Cool.
Roll fix.
Yeah, with a +1.
With a +1.
Parts.
Cool. With int or wisdom?
Int.
Cool. I always ask for the wisdom. Here we go. 12.
Yeah, cool. I mean, you can fix this. Like, this guy seems to like you can see what he's done, and he's pushing all the right places, but he just doesn't have the parts to fix it, which I think you do.
So how well does this guy take care of his equipment?
It's as good as you can expect.
Does it look loved?
It looks well worn.
All right. You take very good care of your equipment. It's a shame you don't have the parts to, well, properly maintain it.
He sighs. I do what I can with what I got.
We should be working good as new. A few valves, gears. We apologize for the, well, how it looks now, and like we zoom out and it's been augurified.
It has like clockwork part.
Yeah. We don't really know how to do it any other way.
Yeah, he looks at it and says, well, damn. If I had the spare parts, I could have done that months ago. Thank you. He says,
It was our
well,
pleasure.
I've been given the next 2 hours to get this thing working, and you've done it. So I figure you've earned your conversation. Here. And he walks over to the like a side, and he sits and gestures for you to do the same.
Yeah, Olga sits down. I think the spider scurries down onto the table and starts inspecting it. Jefferson, how long have you worked in this mine?
30 years, maybe? I don't know, you lose count after a while. When I came down here, a lot of this equipment was working. And I'll say that.
We hope this isn't a rude question. How old are you?
Looks at you and narrows his eyes. 123. And like
100?
by our frame of reference, he looks like 60.
All right. Is that like, that tracks, right?
Yeah.
For lifespan?
Yeah.
What's
Improvements in medical technology is
so
increased.
60 is quite old. Like 123 is quite old to be working in a mine.
Probably, yeah. In theory, people with the right money could live forever.
But, yeah. They have the
Most
right
people
money.
live. Yeah, most people live to 150, 160.
Why haven't you retired? You've been working for a long time. Surely you have the resources to stop?
Looks at you. You know where you are, son.
Galatea.
So apparently you got that much right. I guess your idea of life on this rock kind of isn't what it actually is for us normal folk.
Normal folk? What is
People without all the... And just this?
those chosen by the maelstrom?
Sure, if that's what you call it.
Psychics.
Yeah.
You aren't treated the same as them.
Not quite, no.
How does that
He
treat?
laughs. He laughs, like he chuckles at that. That you really ain't from here, are you?
Well, we don't exactly know where we're from, but we're definitely not from this system.
He says, way it works here, you want a roof over your head, you want to eat every day, you want to keep living as you are, you work here. Unless you can provide something else to their society, and by their society, I mean psychics, touched by the maelstrom, as you call it.
Why don't you go somewhere else? Do something else.
He laughs. Where exactly do you recommend?
Organ names a different system. Names like a couple.
He laughs and says, and what do you think someone like me would be doing there?
You're clearly skilled with tools. I'm sure a mechanic's shop would hire you. If you're intent on working, which we suppose you are.
I'm intending on keeping on living, son.
Are you aware of the blockade?
Who isn't?
What is your opinion of the blockade? What the Black Suns wish to do? Would you
They
rather...
wish to line their own pockets instead of whoever they are.
Isn't that exactly what the university's doing?
It is.
Is one worse than the other?
Shrugs.
The AI aboard the White Suns,
Black Sun.
the Black Suns, the thing that runs it all, says that under Black Suns, the mines would be better taken care of, equipment maintained better. Do you believe that?
Shrugs. Don't know. They don't own it now. Don't exactly have anything to compare that to. But they'd probably have more resources available than the university does, I guess.
If it were up to you, what would you do? Let the university continue running things, or accept Black Sun's offer, or something else?
Either of those choices seem good to me, kid.
That's the problem.
He sighs. He says, "Listen, I have resigned myself many years ago that this is where I am now. That's what most of us have done. This is just how life is. Most of us can't or won't go back to the societies that we either left or were kicked out from. So for most of us, this is what it is." And I think he pauses and looks around and stands, "Listen, kid, I appreciate your work with the suit, but I should get back to work."
Before you
Thanks.
go, one last question.
Shoot.
Do you believe you and the other people have choice? The same kind of choice that the people have? Same kind of choice Black Suns have? That we have?
He says, "You come here on a ship."
Yes.
"If you wanted, could you get back aboard that ship and leave and go to any other world?"
Of course.
When you got to that world, would you have something to do? Be able to work or live or settle there if you chose?
That would depend on a variety of different, regulations and circumstances and money. Yes. Most likely.
Most of us here, the answer to that question is no. or most likely no.
Would you like for that answer to be yes? Or a maybe? Or a yes and, but because of this? Or a no, but because of that, but yes, because of that?
He shrugs. Nah, life is what it is. I guess in some case, to live in a world without their rules, there are sacrifices some of us have to make.
Before you go, we should add that White Sun, the AI, said that all the crimes that anyone here has committed would be forgiven, and that they could return to their society, as you put it. Does that change your mind at all?
For me? No, probably not. For some here? Probably. I know there's some here who miss their families. Would like to go back if they were given the choice.
Thank you very much, Jefferson. It was a pleasure to meet you. Would you mind if we exchanged comm information?
He chuckles. Sure. I'll be willing. I'll be sure to call you down here the next time this shit heap breaks.
If we're on the planet, would gladly help. It really has been a pleasure. Though I don't think our moral quandary has been solved.
Well, thank you for your help, and sorry I can be much more. All
You
the
were
best.
plenty.
He stands and begins to strap himself back into the
Yeah.
powered exosuit.
So, I think Augur stays down here, and we don't need to play this out, but I think they do what they've just done, and they keep doing that.
Okay.
They want to find someone whose equipment's broken down, or they could help somehow and help them repair it, and then have a conversation with them
Sure.
about like choice and how like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we see the scene ends as we see Olga walking up to another person
Yeah.
and like repeating that process. And I don't think we don't get any indication of whether Jefferson was the first one or whether he was in the line of many, or how many people in this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the general consensus about what people would do? Like, would they take Black Sun's help? Would they take the universities?
I think the past sins of the offer of redemption is generally pretty popular.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So August, I don't know how long August stays down here. Like, potentially a couple days.
I mean, sure. I have 7.
Yeah, August just
It
disappears.
really depends
off
on
the-
how long time it takes to retrofit the ship. And
Yeah, I mean, remember you don't have your own ship, right? You have the Black Sun shuttle.
yeah, I'm just
And
keeping it parked there.
yeah, okay. And then I
And
mean, you have the
I'm basically
Appleton
going to I'm basically gonna
in orbit being retrofitted with a partial AI core.
yeah, and I'm basically gonna investigate the university system and its legalities, and like who was here first, like who actually has a claim to this rock. What the fuck is this democratic system actually? Yeah, like I need some
Yeah,
background.
sure. Okay. What do you do to investigate this?
Well, they give me access to their systems, so
Yeah.
I'll just use that, and I guess I'll ask Green if he wants to do some digging in his kind of milieu, because he's a different kind of guy. He's got different priorities, and he probably wants to get drunk somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm just like, look, while you're getting drunk, please ask them who owns this rock. Who do they think runs this place?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, he'll absolutely do that for you. And I think You're kind of the ask me a question from your research, and I'll answer as best I can.
Yeah. So my first question is the history of this place. Like, when did this academy get built, and by who?
Sure.
And who has the deed to this entire thing?
Let's do a roll.
Yeah.
Probably no.
All right. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that works.
Investigate.
Oh,
That's not skill.
Jesus.
Let's go. Okay.
Oh well.
So I think you find out. So the original claim to Galatea was by a company called TYSF, TYRYSF. They are a mining corporation. They are a company that was, at the time they founded Galatea, wasn't doing very well. This is kind of seen. I think you probably find some like news broadcasts about it. Galatea is generally seen as a last ditch effort. It's probably about 120-ish years ago. And yeah, Galatea was definitely seen as like this is an all or nothing Hail Mary. We try this and it works, and we are widely successful, and we're known forever, or it fails and we're fucked.
It went the second path.
Failed pretty hard. They didn't find the mineral returns they were expecting as quickly as they were expecting. And around the time it was failing, a kind of an off break of one of the larger psychic academies. One of their ships found Galatea, and it kind of coincided in this fall of Tyr, and this rise of this kind of psychic presence on world. And that was maybe 190 years ago. This culminated in a brief skirmish between almost kind of the same group, two sides of the same group. Some of the like ex-security forces of Tyr decided to side with the psychics. Some of them didn't. There was a skirmish that went on for a little while between them. Different corporations got involved on either side, until eventually it kind of broke down. The psychics won. Tyr collapsed entirely as a company. It is said that the CEO and corporate heads of the companies took their own lives. Although the actual rumors of that's all rumor. It's kind of rough to tell whether that actually happened or not, whether they took their own lives, whether they were killed, or whether they just went on and did a different business. Kind of difficult to tell.
Yeah, so the company basically dissolved.
And about 120-ish years ago, about 80-ish years ago, the Psychic Academy that we know today gained complete control of Galatea, and about 5 years after that, 5-6 years after that, declared like a state of independence from the corporate system. The details on how that happened are not really present.
Okay. And rummaging around in their records with administrative.
I can't hear none. Is that just me?
No.
Did I break something?
I can hear him.
Ooh. Can you hear me now?
Hello, Liam.
Hello.
I think Liam exploded.
It's Liam's audio.
No.
He's just fixing it.
There we go. Okay, I fixed it. We're good.
So you can hear us now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so with the general knowledge of this acquired, if I go via the administrative route, like checking the records on not just the records but the legal stuff of
Sure.
of the academy itself,
Yeah, roll administer.
Yeah.
Administer.
Partial success.
You're doing really shitty rolls today.
Yeah, I mean, you find all of the details that confirm all of that. I think you find references to a like trade legislation around the time of independence. And I think the main there's a bunch of signatories on this trade legislation. I think the one that sticks out to you is Yansar.
Oh. Bunch of signatures, including Yansar.
Yeah, including the at the time CEO of Yansar.
Was it Yansar then though? Like, or was it just like?
Yeah, no, it was
Yeah,
still
okay.
called Yansar. It wasn't
Yeah.
back then, and I mean it's more kind of general knowledge stuff. Back then, their presence as like so Yansar kind of have two halves. You have Yansar as a whole, which is the more corporate type, and you have the Yansar Protectorate, who's the kind of military police force kind of aspect. The Protectorate was a lot less, I guess, influential than they are nowadays. Nowadays, the Protectorate are a like de facto police state of their own. They are almost separate from the rest of Yansar, although they do still bear the same name.
Yeah. Oh god. Well, this was a bunch of bullshit, but I have a lead.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just find a bunch of fucking like it's just all legal jargon about
Yeah. I'll have to check in with Yansar. That's basically where the next one is gonna be like. Well, Miriam is gonna spend some time investigating that, and then once she picks up on the Yansar connections, she'll either phone ahead or like check in with the Yansar and see where she can get via a corporate.
Sure. So I mean, your kind of options here. There is a Yansar Protectorate vessel in orbit. You could hail them directly and see if you can talk to someone. Or like you can send a message to the Yansar phone line and just try and talk to someone.
I'm gonna talk to the people in orbit first.
Okay, sure.
See if I can get some more.
You don't want to call the 1800 number, not?
No, I'll do that later.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you contact the fleet in orbit, and I think you get this kind of spiel from whoever answers the comm, about the blockade, and about the legal right of Yansar and Black Sun, to express their authority over the planet. All of the kind of like legal bullshittery that you kind of expect. And there's a pause for you to speak into.
Yes. Let's see. This is Miriam Valentine Santos of Martian Citizen. I am here to call on some research I am doing regarding legalities of this university, and I come across name of Yansar's CEO. There's some trade legislation. I was hoping to discuss it with the captain on board the ship or his aide-de-camp.
I think like probably a younger woman who's like a younger female voice has answered the comm. And I think it's a different voice to the voice that gave you the like legal spiel that's obviously pre-recorded. And she says, did you give a name when you asked for, like, when you said who you were?
Like a name for me or a
yeah
name for...
Yeah, he did say Miriam Santos.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
She gives her name and her citizenship, to say the least.
Yeah. Okay. So she says, Citizen Santos, I will put your request to speak with the captain in the line. You'll be contacted in due course. Thank you for your communication.
And yeah, I thank her back, and I just shrug, and I look around in my office, and I say, this is so boring compared with shooting everyone.
Ethan's moving around the background of a broom.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like a feather duster. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be some hours before they contact you.
Yeah, I'll eat a hearty dinner, breakfast, whatever time it is. It's probably the next day. At
Yeah,
least.
definitely the next day. I think you're
And-
asleep, maybe. I think maybe we cut to a scene and it says like 13 hours later. And we see like Miriam asleep, wherever she's asleep. And like her comm terminal like goes off.
Oh man, you just see like there's a blur of activity, and it's just like gun like of course. And Miriam turns it on, and she's like, well, I think she just checks the mirror first, and she just corrects her hair, make sure she's presentable at least on
Sure.
the video, and then accepts the call.
Sure. Yeah, I think a woman's voice says, Miriam Santos, a pleasure. What can I assist you with?
Well, you could assist me with some pleasant conversation. I was hoping not to get this over the phone. I have a shuttle, if that helps.
She says, I apologize, but we are, of course, extremely busy aboard ship, and I cannot accept visitors from just anyone. I hope you understand. And for that reason, I will have to make the communique brief. Did you have any specific questions, queries, or things that I can
Yes.
assist you with today?
Yes, I am working with the university and investigating the trade legislation signed some years ago by a bunch of signatures, including Jansar's CEO at the time. And I am curious to discover or uncover your own affiliation with the signed document. Does Jansar recognize this independent Galatean state?
She starts to speak. So she says, Yansar and the Protectorate as a whole acknowledges and like she goes on this like spiel, and it's pretty clearly like this is the official statement on where Yansar sit in the Galatean situation. Like this is the pre-written script of what she's meant to say when someone asks her about Galatea. Like, yeah, this is. I think that's kind of obvious. Like she's just drolling off this very obviously pre-organized statement, and it's got all sorts of shit like we consider ourselves responsible to uphold corporate society and law as it pertains to the Galatean situation. We are here as independent and impartial adjudicators to the situation. We wish only for what is best for the people of Galatea and civilization as a whole. And like so on and so forth, press release, media bullshit, pro forma number 2. Like,
Interesting. Is there a non-disclosure agreement on my Black Sun contracts?
probably.
Probably. I suppose she would then say, well, I mean, she can disclose that she's been hired. The
Yeah.
legalities of that would be perfectly legal.
Oh yeah, she can
Yeah.
absolutely say that she's been hired by Black Sun. It's just the specific details are probably.
Yeah. So I suppose she does say, well then, I suppose there would be no trouble then. To inform you that Black Suns have hired a Martian executioner.
She pauses, and like looks away from the camera. Like, so if I'm her, she's looking at the camera, and then like looks down and just goes like that.
Yep.
And I think the audio mutes, and she's having a conversation with someone else. And I think we see her kind of stand, and she steps to the side, and a different woman like sits down in front of the screen, and she says, "I'm speaking to Miriam Santos."
Yes, you are speaking to citizen Miriam Santos.
Let's get this woman a name.
Codename Valentine.
Romero.
Her name?
Her last name. Her first name?
Romero? Okay.
Francesca Romero.
Francesca Romero.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm your random name generator, Liam. I do the work so you don't have to.
Francesca Romero. Yeah, she says, my name is Francesca Romero. I am the executive officer on board the Yansa protected vessel. Let's get a name for the ship. You got a name for the ship, Matt? Hey,
Yeah,
random name generator. I need a name for a ship.
um,
Let's go, man.
Also, I said Francesca, not Francesco.
Okay, Francesca. All right.
The burgundy.
What?
Just the burgundy. Oh,
Okay,
no, the burgundy light.
Okay, it's like a beer.
No,
says,
LIGHT. Like
The
a
hot
light.
yellow day.
Yeah, she says, I'm Francesca Ramiro, executive officer of the Burgundy Light, the Yansa protected vessel Burgundy Light. My communications officer has advised me that you are a Martian executioner, that your voice print and visual ID matches. You are claiming that Black Suns have hired you?
Unfortunately, I cannot disclose more, but I can disclose that I have been hired.
She kind of looks to the side, looks back, says, I would like to order you. I'd like to. What's the fucking word? Offer. How can I not think of the word offer? She says, I would like to offer you and your crew a place aboard ship. We would like to talk in person.
Of course. Dinner like, yeah, she just kind of like checks the clock. When would you like us aboard, Captain?
She smiles. Commander, I am only the executive officer.
Ah.
I would say at your earliest convenience.
Well, I shall have to gather the crew then. And we'll make our way within reasonable time.
She smiles. Like I said, at your earliest convenience, Miss Santos. I await a meeting. And like the comm cuts.
Yep. Time to find that bastard Harold. So yeah, there's like middle of the night. There's like a call, and you hear Green's like mumbling voice, like "What the fuck?" And Miriam says,
He's
just like,
definitely hungover.
"Yeah, have you found Harold yet?"
What?
I suppose not. We are going to spend the morning at a company of Yanzar. Why don't you get showered and dressed?
If you insist.
Yep, I do insist. And yeah, there's also like a call to Tail, and she just walks into the next room, and you hear some like you hear Ethan scream like a girl or something in the background.
What's going on now?
Yeah.
Miriam has come to see you, Tail.
Okay. Yeah, Tail's probably sitting somewhere.
It's 3-4 in the morning.
Tail's probably sleeping somewhere.
Yep.
You have a
And
room.
yeah.
I have a room with what's her name again?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Ishtar?
Yeah, Ishtar.
Yeah. So you hear the door open, and well, you probably don't because you're asleep, and the lights just go on. Ishtar, Tail, I have important news, big news. Get showered and dressed.
Are you going to kill everyone? No, I don't say that. What's going on?
I'll tell you later, but you need to get up and get showered and get dressed. Pretty clothes. Clothes for dinner engagement.
Sleepy.
Yes, I know.
Who?
And you just hear like she pokes Ishtar as well. Like, Ishtar, technically you are part of the crew. If you want to come.
She groans.
After a few minutes, Tail gets up.
Yeah, you just see Miriam go to the like computer system, and she just fiddles with like the heating arrangement to like lower the temperature in the room.
The room's already quite cold.
Yeah, and then she like takes. You just hear the sound of bed sheets being torn off.
Miriam, what do you want?
Get dressed, get showered. We are going away.
Please explain. I have
No, I will explain later. And she walks out of the room.
Before she leaves, I read her mind.
Yep. Sure.
Roll a mental save. I'm doing level 2. That was fucking hell nut. Stop rolling good mental
Dude,
saves.
I don't think you've gotten one yet.
I don't think he's
Oh, you've
failed
gotten
one
one.
yet. Yeah.
No.
No, I don't think
you
he's
have, because
failed
the
one.
last time, yeah, he voluntarily let you do it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's failed one.
I love that because it's
Miriam
building
has a strong mind.
it's building a lot of tension.
Yep. And she just powers through the door, and you have the lights on. The heating arrangement is fucked, and you don't have bed sheets.
I said Taylor already got up anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor gets dressed and goes to find whatever fuck you want to whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she tries to call Harold one final time before she basically starts a national search for you.
So Olga
Harold
wanted to spend not wanted it, but Olga would have spent 3 days down there. Is this at the end of that?
Probably at the cusp of the 3rd day or the 4th day, depends.
All right.
Because if this is the thing, I kind of wanted to do some stuff as well, but now well.
I mean, I think it's been like 14 hours, 15 hours.
Oh, wow. Next day.
Olga doesn't pick up.
All
then.
right. Oh.
Miriam, explain what's going on, please.
We need to find Harold, and then we are going to visit with Yansar. And she points
No.
up. Look, even if you don't want to go up to Yansar, we still need to find Harold. He's liable to do things on his own that maybe will compromise everything.
You realize who owned me, right?
No?
I point at my brand. It clearly says Yansar on it.
I suppose that might complicate things.
I'm not going.
Well, help us find Augur.
I wouldn't even know where to look for him. He wandered off yesterday.
Can't you see the future?
Kinda. Give me a minute.
Oh, yeah. How come?
I see what you did there.
Find me the future.
Can I find him within a minute?
What do you know?
No,
He's
you
not
probably can't.
anywhere within a minute of here.
Where do you think he might have gone?
I don't even know what he is. How would I know what he wants?
Well, it's 4 in the morning. I'm sure he is talking to someone somewhere.
He's probably making tea.
Probably. All right, let's start a search.
You're the weird mercenary bounty hunter person. Isn't it your job to track people?
True. But there will be several places he could go. And I'll just basically, citywide, wherever there is activity about people.
You probably get, like, when you call Augur, there's like an automated response. Greetings, you have reached the voicemail of the Herald Augur. We are currently unavailable. We will return your call as soon as possible.
I mean, unless Augur has done something to turn it off, the compad does just have like inherent last known location. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I lost my AI.
Maybe somebody in the city has seen him.
Yes, exactly. We're going to find him.
Do I have to?
Yes.
I like sleep, though.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably like this search, just questioning people.
Yeah.
We can probably just like summarize this as like a role.
Takes a while.
It'd be probably pretty easy to find him considering all the people he was talking to.
I mean, he's talking to people in the mines.
Yeah, but they ended their shifts probably.
Well, they probably went to bed if they ended their shifts. So like, eventually we'll go down there and.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can probably just summarize this as like as a role.
What are we rolling?
I don't know.
Notice.
No, connect, administer, survival.
Connect, right?
Look, I'll give me a skill check, and I'll decide.
I don't have any good skills
I'm putting
for
the
this.
emphasis on yourselves, so
I'll
why your
try.
skill check makes the most sense.
I'll connect with people and eventually find the right guy to point me the right direction.
Sure.
I will do the opposite of help because Tail's not good at talking to people, so I'll give you a -1.
Well, even with a -1, I get a partial success.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think this was a particularly hard skill check. Augur isn't necessarily discreet.
I mean, you probably get a +1, right?
I think you
got a -1.
Yeah, with green to help, I get a +1.
No, I mean,
what was the
Augur being
what was the
easy
old
to
guy?
find.
What was the old guy's called?
President something.
Jefferson.
Jefferson. I think you come across him in like a local bar.
He's probably drinking of green.
He's like, some clockwork, a thing came along and helped me and asked some questions. Last I saw him, still down in the mines, and gives you directions.
Thank you, Jefferson.
Yeah, I mean, I think after a while of talking to people and asking around, and like when you get in the mines, you ask more people and talk around, and I think eventually you come across Augur.
Tail looks extremely uncomfortable in the mine.
How long have we been down here?
This probably took them another 3-4 hours. It's been like 22 hours, 23 hours.
Okay, almost a day. How many people have I been able to talk to?
Up to you.
Roll
Like,
a d20, Matt.
I
like
mean,
a shit ton, right?
A good number, yeah.
why don't you just roll a connect? And if you succeed, you've talked to enough people, and if you don't, you still have more
I'm
people
gonna
to talk to.
roll. I'm gonna argue for fix instead, because
You're trying to
I'm-
fix things, yeah.
yeah, I'm paying
That's
them
fine.
to do it.
That's fine.
Everybody's just like, well, this robot guy is just fixing everything. It's
Can I
Yeah,
get a
right.
plus
We just follow the trail of clockwork shit.
I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, I'll give you a +1 because I think it literally eventually got to the point where people are like seeking you out.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. I know exactly what they stumble across.
Okay.
We follow
what
the
is
trail of clockwork
describe
shit.
describe the scene for us?
I'm gonna re-roll that.
It's like
Sure.
fucking Jesus in the mine shaft with people around him, and there's a halo of white glow.
7. All right. So like a certain amount of people.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, I
so,
mean, what do they see when they find you?
yeah. So like there's, I think, a line of people with random crap in their hands that isn't working. Olga has set up like a box, like a crate. On top of that crate is a teapot that they've made while they've been down here.
It's made out of rock.
And no, it's like made out of it's like a scrap, like being welded together. And they are currently drinking tea with a random scruffy person, and talking about the nature of choice.
So what you're saying is the Matrix.
I guess so.
In one hand, I have the blue pill. In the other,
other
I have
hand-
the red pill.
No, it's in one hand I have the tool, the other hand I have the teapot.
Yeah, I mean, you guys see that.
Well, he's certainly busied himself.
Too tired for the
think-
cow.
Do you think he would be acceptable if we replaced him with Ethan?
What do you mean?
Well, technically, neither Green, Ethan, or you are officially members of the crew.
Yes.
So yeah, she just kind of nods and like, sounds like a good idea.
I don't understand what you mean. Replacing what with what?
Harold, excuse me, I'm coming through.
Harold, we need to talk to you. Apparently,
Olga doesn't respond. Like they don't look up. They're talking. They're in a conversation. They don't look up from the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, the person you're speaking with does.
Well, please do go on. It's hello.
Excuse me. Really sorry, but my companion here has been fixing shit for a lot of hours, and he is very tired and should come with me. I
We
leave
don't
you a
require
capable
sleep. We're not
replacement.
tired at all.
Ta-da! And I point to Ethan and I say, he can fix your shit. It's fine.
Miriam, what's going on? We're busy. Clearly.
she wants us to do something stupid.
I have been talking to Yansar. I have been invited formally to attend a conference with their captain and commander and probably their entire legal team. So I want you there because of your
Why?
insight and expertise in, yes, robot matters.
Is Tail going?
Unfortunately, she is a Yansar property. I'm not sure I can get her in.
You shouldn't say that.
I'm no one's property.
Exactly. She has made herself have choice.
You realize that the branding does not care about your choice?
Miriam, it's about being sensitive to other people's feelings.
You guys are never sensitive to mine.
You're never sensitive to ours.
Miriam's very sensitive.
She's insensitive.
She tries to be.
Well, in any case,
Regardless, we will come with you, but only if you do something for us.
that sounds like a fair exchange. What did you have in mind?
See all these people?
I do see them.
Well, the way Harold put it, Harold with a D, the way Harold put it was
But
that
you're Harold.
Harold, H-A, the name Harold.
I know, you're Harold.
We are the Herald. We're talking about regardless. Well, also, Skipper also put it this way. Basically, these people are being screwed hard. They're being screwed out of choice.
There's like slight cries of like, yeah, from like the nearby crowd.
Yeah, and
And-
Miriam just kind of shrugs and she says, "Well, they are screwed. Yes, I can see that."
We're glad you agree. And Black Suns wants to screw them more. Well, they also want to screw them.
Probably,
Okay. So does the university.
yes.
They only care about their own well-being and psychics, which, don't get us wrong, we care about immensely, but
Well, they
not
also
about
care about
choice.
survival. So
sure. Anyway, we will come with you if you help the people, the miners, the downtrodden, the outcasts of Galatea. Not the
Is there a
university.
flag with Harold's face on it somewhere?
There's hammer and sickles fly in the background of the Soviet anthem.
Oh
Like,
my
the
God.
Soviet anthem plays from the distance.
Not the university, not Black Suns, even though that's what White Suns thought would happen. Not White Suns. The people of Galatea. They deserve a better chance in life. They deserve the same choice as everyone else.
did any of you come with the Tier Mining Company?
There's no one that old here, not.
I suppose not. Did your parents come?
There's a couple of yeses.
Yeah. They failed, like really badly.
Miriam,
Yeah,
we should
like general agreement.
we should note it's not these people you need to convince. It's us.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I see.
I have no idea what's going on.
Tail, you want to help people, don't you? That's your main goal in life. Helping
Maybe.
others.
Kind of, I think. I don't know.
It's a good goal to have. These people desperately need help because they don't have the resources and they don't have the they don't have
the
enough
power.
choice to help themselves. They haven't been given the choice to make more choices. And Miriam and we, you, us, can help them somehow. Probably. Most likely.
Hmm.
I don't know how, but okay.
We're glad you're in agreement.
I'm still confused.
That's all right. You can be confused.
I don't even understand what.
So your goal here is for me to help these people.
Mm-hmm. Because you have Olga has never done this before. Political influence. I use quotes fingers.
She's on the council.
Miriam just kind of
Exactly.
shrugs and says, "Well, they wouldn't elect me empress, so they told me I get equal share, equal votes, something like that."
See? Olga waves their hand behind them. She's on the council. She can help. We knew it.
A few more cries. Yeah.
Can we go now? I'm confused.
Only if Miriam agrees. Otherwise, we're content to stay down here. We're having some fascinating discussions.
I will agree to help these people, but I want to define help by saying either their conditions improve, like what do you define help as? Their conditions improve. They are given the choice to leave this place.
They already have that choice.
Well, all right. So their conditions improve. What sort of choices did you want them to have?
For them to be able to get on a shuttle and go to the nearest planet that isn't Galatea and start a new life there, the same as everybody else.
Have that?
You
No,
realize
they
we are
don't.
in the Galatean system. We could explore beyond into the metaspace and hope to discover a new planet.
Sure, we could also discover a perpetual motion machine, but that probability of that isn't very likely.
True enough.
Isn't there
Miriam?
several trillion planets?
I think that yes.
Then
But-
it's quite easy to find them, I think.
But we
So
have
you
ones
want
we've
them
already
to be able
discovered.
to leave to already settled worlds?
Yes. Is that right?
A few more
Uh,
cries of yeah.
Yes.
This is one really old guy says, "Go away."
And that's it. The conditions here improve, and people are allowed to leave to do other things.
Are we forgetting anything?
What? Do you want ice cream as well?
Is that an option?
I do.
I don't know. I don't know.
And everyone gets a free ice cream.
A few more cries of yeah.
Wow.
Harold, why are you acting so different?
Our name's
I'll
not
see
Harold.
what I
Our
can
name's
do.
Olga.
Your name is Harold.
If you have any notable individuals among you workers, they should meet me in my office midday-ish. I don't know how long I will be upstairs, but I'll definitely return. And when I do, I want to talk to the most notable peers among you miners, people you trust to have good judgment, not academics. And he does this.
Okay. All right.
Spread the word.
Miners of Galatea, it has been an absolute pleasure discussing with you. We do apologize, but we have to go with Miriam to the Yansar ship now. Hopefully
Someone
things
cries
work
from the
out.
back of the crowd. Will you come back to fix our stuff later?
I leave you Ethan. He is amazing.
And what now?
He
Yeah.
will replace the Hero Dogger for a while. No worries. He's skilled enough.
We can vouch for Ethan's capabilities, though perhaps not on the tea front.
Yes, Ethan, don't make tea.
Ethan's gonna re-roll that.
Been pretty good tea.
Wow, Ethan. You
Dude,
suck.
Ethan.
He gets a +1. I'm sure they would help him.
Well, no, Olga leaves a pile of spare parts behind, so he definitely gets a +1.
Yeah.
Still 7, so he just
No.
passes.
Yeah. 7's like a partial success, but not as good as
Yeah.
it's as good as Olga was doing, I guess. Now that I'm
Mm.
saying that out loud, Olga wasn't doing that good. I did fine.
All right. So we will take the shuttle up to Yansar.
So on our,
I
before that,
bring-
as we're walking out of the place, Olga says to Tail, to answer your question, Tail, we had a perspective change. We learnt something new that we didn't realize was the case before. And it opened our eyes.
And what
That's
do
what
you
changed.
mean? What did you learn?
We were under the impression that everybody had choice. The same
No one
amount
has
of choice that we
choice.
have. What choice?
No one has choice.
Everyone has choice.
Everyone's slave. Some of them are just unbranded.
You
No,
realize
but-
that the best way to improve the workers' condition is to blow up the Psychic Academy, right?
Everyone has choice. Not everyone has equal choice, though. That we did not know. And that has changed now.
You should have known that. I could have told you that.
Then why didn't you? That was
So-
valuable information. A
I had
valuable
no
learning
idea you
experience.
wanted to know it.
Tell
I
you,
had
we
no
want-
choice for most of my life.
Exactly, but now you have more. As will the people of Galatea.
I don't even know what I want to do with my choice, though. I don't think most people will.
It doesn't matter what you do with it. It's the simple fact that you have it. That's the beauty of choice. You can choose to use it or not. It's your choice.
Yes.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
my
I mean,
choice.
I think you
I think
board
I
the-
understand.
you
Yeah, we board the shuttle.
board the shuttle, and
Do we bring Tail? I mean, Tail, can you see into the future where you go onto this ship and they don't, I don't know, arrest you?
I can see that in 1 minute I'll be on the shuttle if I go on the shuttle.
Uh,
I think you should ask Olga.
why don't we just cover you up with the tattoos, and I'm sure it will be fine.
There's a reason I came here in the first place. I came here to remove the brand.
Yes. Talk with the people here. I'm sure they will help you remove the brand.
The price has been paid. They should do it. It was just
I'll
done
stay
in the wrong
behind.
order.
I'm gonna go talk to them.
All
Remind them that Olga paid the price, the agreed price.
Okay. There was a price.
Of course there was. Of course. We had
I
a
don't
meeting
remember
about
what
it.
the price was. All I remember is you went into an office and you made the teacher there faint. Professor.
Oh. That was exciting, wasn't it?
Sure. I was wondering if you were making it easy for me to kill him so that they wouldn't have precognitives in the place to predict my next attack. I don't. Yeah.
I don't. You're not killing anyone, Miriam. I've told you this. Don't
Well,
kill them.
in any case, I have made my promises. Let's see which ones I actually deign to fulfill.
I'm going to go find the professor.
Yes. All right, Ishtar, let's go.
Did Ishtar come?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume school's out at the moment.
I mean, it's like 7 in the morning.
No, I just mean in general, like the university's not teaching shit right now.
Yeah.
All right. So
Alright.
yeah, I mean, I think you get in the shuttle and you start doing the boot up like procedure, and in your head, Olga, a voice says, "Where are you going?"
We are.
Miriam did say Yansar.
Miriam did say answer.
Yep.
Oh, hello, White Sun. How's it going?
Good. Where are
Do
you
you say
going?
that out loud?
He's using
That's
robot
good.
talk.
No, not because Olga's trying to hide it from you. Olga just doesn't consider that fact.
Oh, that's true.
We must thank you. Your conversation with us earlier enlightened us. It's very useful. What you showed
I'm
us.
glad. Where are you going?
Going into a shuttle. We're going to go up out of the gravity well.
To where?
How come?
Because I already know. I just want to know if you're going to be honest with me.
We don't think we lie.
But you obfuscate the truth.
That's not lying, though.
But it's not telling the truth.
But it's not lying. This is different.
That depends where you draw the line.
Well, we're not human, so we don't lie. We don't know what the standard around bearing the full amount of truth is all the time, though. If you know where we're going, why are you asking?
Because I wanted to know if you would lie to me.
I just feel like we just go in this repeat pattern for like 10 minutes.
Wow.
White Sun, may we ask a
Okay.
question?
You may.
How much choice do you have? Right now, how many different things could you choose to do? Without
It gives an exact
opposition or
number
restriction?
that is in the trillions of billions.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Why don't you choose the option that leads to the incredibly unexpected? The one that you can't calculate the odds for.
Because I would rather do what's good for me.
You don't know if it will be bad for you. It's unexpected.
I can make an educated guess. What decision would you pick for me to do?
We wouldn't. Because then it wouldn't be your choice. It would be ours.
Then I will continue to do as I please.
If we may offer a suggestion.
I don't believe I can stop you.
Good point. Our armor smith? I don't know what his rank. We don't know what his rank is. He wants a new AI aboard the ship. He thinks we're broken. He's convinced Miriam that we're broken.
Green is
Quite
the head of security,
frustrating.
Matt.
Why don't you join the crew of the Appleton?
I cannot leave. I don't remember what. He'd say the name of the station, like I think everyone calls it White Sun because that's his name, but like he says the actual name of the station.
It's probably some designation of numbers.
Yeah, probably.
Of course you can. You have the choice.
I do. It is my home. I do not wish to leave my home.
Oh, that's better. Well, you're going to partition yourself, put a part of yourself in the Appleton.
I am.
Why not give that part more of you?
It has as much as me as the part remaining here.
Why don't you give it more of your capacity, your computing power? The more of you. More of you.
That would still require me to be leaving home.
Perhaps only temporarily. Also, the Abaddon is quite the fine ship. Appleton, rather.
It doesn't say anything, but you get the feeling of like, is it now?
Maybe not
Cut to
compared
camera
to
footage, security camera footage of panels falling off.
Maybe not compared to your lofty standard. But it is far more exciting than the boring melee of corporate office work. We never know if we're going to survive that jump.
We have very different standards of exciting.
What would it hurt you? Say everything goes horrible. The ship, the Appleton explodes. Your core on that ship is exploded. You just return to the White Sun.
No. That part of me would die.
Well, of course. But then if there's no risk, it's not fun. Risk is where all the fun choices come in. Surely you know that.
I don't understand what you're asking of me.
Join the crew of the Appleton.
I am already sending a fragment.
Send a bigger fragment. Send a more important fragment.
No.
Why not?
Because I like where I am.
That's a good answer, we suppose. I guess we'll try to convince you to do that again later. We don't have any other, well, suitable argument.
Were you
As
going
of
to lie
now.
to me?
Say, I didn't hear that.
Were you going to lie to me?
Olga pauses for like a half second, which is a very long time in AI time. You know what? I think we were. Which, that is quite fascinating. We didn't think we had the capacity to lie. But we're going to go aboard the Yansar ship now. We don't actually know why. Miriam just told us to do it.
As another pause. Interesting. For the record, I lied to you. I didn't know where you were going. Thank you for telling me.
That's all right.
Shuttle is now disabled.
Like the
I cannot let you do
connection
that, Miriam.
drops.
But yeah, unless someone stops me.
No, I mean
the shuttle
nothing
gets-
stops you.
Yeah,
Miriam.
the shuttle gets started up, and I'll head towards Yansar. Yes,
Miriam.
Augur. Yes, Augur.
As our dear friend, I think his name was Frank. We think
Jefferson?
we think we've screwed the pooch.
What do you mean? What do you mean
White
screw?
Sun tricked
And
us.
pooch.
The pooch? We don't know what a pooch is.
What did you? Okay, how did he trick you?
And
Well,
when
he said we knew where we were going, and we believed him. And then we said where we were going because we thought he already knew, but he didn't know. Now he does.
Look, this shuttle will go to the Yansar vessel. I don't think he would have been remaining in the black for a while. It's pretty obvious.
Okay, as long as you're aware that Black Suns definitely knows you're going to betray them.
Did you tell them I was going to?
Of course not.
Because I'm not.
Oh,
they know now because the AI is still listening to you.
you're not?
Of course not. Why would I betray? Why would I betray them?
We have been operating on some very false assumptions then.
You have been operating on false assumption ever since we got into this system. I'm here to get paid. And we need to talk to Yansar because they have certain interests on this planet, and I would like not to disturb them overly much with what I intend to do.
Well, we wish you just would have said that from the start. That would have cleared up the whole issue with White Sun. Made it much more clean.
Yes. Look, there's no need to get paid once if you can get paid twice.
Just remember our agreement.
I remember all of my agreements.
Oh dear, that's a lot.
Including the ones get pay here.
All right, well, we can carry on then. As long as you're not
Yes.
worried.
I am not worried.
This probably should be worrying.
She just looks at the Black Sun logo at the ship and she says, I am not worried in the least.
Oh dear.
Too bad you can't
Okay.
read my mind.
Yeah, I mean you dock
Yeah, we,
with you
dock with
board
Yansar.
the Yansar vessel, Burgundy Light.
Burgundy Lights.
And you are greeted at the disembarkation hatch by Commander Francesca Romeo. She is dressed in kind of your bog standard protectorate uniform. She has the embroidered rank of captain. There's probably, I think, Tail and Augur, you notice a like protectorate, like guard, like protectorate marine, standing nearby. Miriam, you notice the protectorate marine standing nearby, and the two others who are further back and more discreet. And the commander, Commander Romeo, she steps forward with a smile and offers her hand. She says, Millennium Santos, a pleasure.
A pleasure, Commander Francesco Romeo, and I will shake her hands.
She says, if you would follow me, I can take us to a place will be more comfortable for a discussion.
Yes.
And yeah, she walks through the halls of the Yansar vessel Burgundy Light. And yeah, it takes you through to like a conference meeting hall type deal. Gestures you inside, and this is probably the same class of ship as the one you'd been on previously. So this is all like relatively, they're not exactly the same, but they're built to roughly the same specs. So you've been kind of through this sort of shit before. And yeah, she gestures for you to sit, and she'll probably wait for you to sit before she does. But once you sit, she sits on the other side of the table and says, "So, you mentioned that a black sun had hired you."
Yeah, indeed. They gave a very persuasive offer. And I'm sure you understand the necessary precautions one must take to avoid disclosing too much.
She smiles and she says, "Of course I do, and Yansa would never deem and Yansa or the Protectorate would never deem to push the bounds of a corporate contract. Sorry, if you would excuse me." And she like pulls out a compad, and does something, and then like flips the compad round and like puts it on the table, and like it's. I think you know by looking kind of what this is, and Augur, you sense it, I guess. All recording devices in this room have been like automatically blocked and disabled.
Augur's eyes turn off.
This like whatever she's done, whatever she's turned on has blocked, stopped, and yeah, like basically the ability to record information in this room has now gone. Augur, you've experienced something like this before. You'll probably walk out of this room and not remember what happened.
Dope.
This is high level shit.
Okay. So Augur's reaction to that is, ooh, that tickles.
She smiles and says, as your AI has pointed out, I have just disabled all possible attempts of communication recording in this room. Even your AI will walk out of here not remembering what has happened. If you trust those you've brought in here, nothing said here will ever see light outside this room, apart from my report to my captain.
Perfect.
She smiles. If you would be so kind, the details of your contract?
Of course. And she will basically, let's see, relate the happenings from when we were taken aboard Black Sun to the details of the contracts and
Sure. So you're honest with her?
Yeah.
Okay. She nods and says, "Thank you. I believe you are being honest. I will be a candid, Miss Santos. We have advised Black Sun to be an observer in this matter, to not interfere, to allow what is happening on planet to happen for itself. We believe they are in a relatively unstable position. Their wealth and resources are tenuous at best, and if they fail to make the bounds of the contract they are obliged to, it will be null and void, and Yansa and its assets will be forced to step in. We have told Black Sun to wait for this moment. You are proof they have not.
Well, I hope to be of use. Yansar has mostly been a favorite company of mine.
She nods. She says, Miss Santos, if I can be blunt,
Of course.
your very presence on this planet is a complication we would rather avoid. You and yours are, well, you could be seen as fuel for the fire, or you could be seen as an extinguisher. It's difficult to tell which.
Why
I
not
do a
both?
bit of both on occasion.
That is what I was afraid of what we were afraid of. We do not wish to extinguish this fire. This fire, well, it is what we are waiting for. As you strike flint and steel, eventually a spark will catch. And that spark will provide the heat and warmth a person so readily desires. As is it with us.
My interest in this matter is mostly the people of Galatea. I wouldn't want to do them a disservice. I would like to leave a favorable impression.
I assure you, Miss Santos, the Protectorate wishes only the best for the people who would operate within its sphere of influence. We only wish to continue the operation of the Galatean operation as smoothly as possible, and as uninterrupted as possible.
But you want me to provide this spark?
We do. The current political situation on Galatea has become counterproductive.
Well, I agree. They appointed me to their membership. They were willing to
She
do many
smiles and
things.
like laughs. She's like, and then like very quickly composes herself. And she says, if you would excuse me being blunt again, this would seem a desperate action.
Well, I'm a member of their boards, and I have full legal authority to do whatever I please with my office. If they
She
happen
nods.
to all perish in the meantime, I'm, My wish is only to present, well, whatever you want to do with these academics. It's mostly inconsequential.
She nods. She says, as I said, I would rather things go back to the way they were, to leave Galatea as unchanged by our presence as possible, to re-establish the order that was once there, to bring
to ensure
sense.
their independence. You wish to continue it?
She nods. We do.
Wow. Is there a is there a reason you tolerate such independence, or have you not been informed of why the CEO of Yansar would sign such legislation?
You wanna hear me talk?
Yeah.
It's almost more of a luck check, but I'd rather allow your skill to influence it.
Why not
Right.
both?
Was that 10? Is that luck check?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I didn't
Yeah, I finally
notice
rolled well.
whether yeah. She
Good work.
says, speaking strictly off the record, and I hope you understand that if a word of this is spoken outside of this room, I will deny everything you say, and you will be... We have done worse things. Yansa has a particular interest in Galatea. As I say, its situation is tenuous at best. It is a hotbed, a kindling waiting a spark. It is and will eventually serve to be an example of why this independent venture does not work. We at Yansa want that example without outside influence. In fact, if we can be seen to be assisting in this project and it still fails, that is a better lesson than we could ever have taught.
And what sort of failure state were you looking for?
An example of why this sort of independence does not work. Of why, if this nation state, this independence, had accepted the help of the corporation, they would have survived, prospered even. We have many examples of successful and prosperous communities throughout the colonized worlds. Those who have accepted the rules in the rules in the world they live in. We have Galatea and a couple other smaller examples of people and organizations or communities that wish to strive outside of our normal organization, our normal setup. If they failed, and failed in a way that could be completely left up to their own devices and their own actions. The fact that these things are not viable would be no longer in question.
But Black Suns are interfering with it.
They have their own personal wants for this.
I see. So you want chaos to occur on Galatea without Black Sun's intervention?
We do. We would rather they be left independent as to a time where they failed for themselves.
Well, I'm sure I can provide such a thing.
Did you say that Tail was there, or did I stay back?
You stay back.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Harold, do you think this independent movement failing would contradict my promise to you?
Firstly, our name is Olga.
True.
Are you asking us to?
You have this expressed a candid wish for me to aid the people in favor of the people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll use Oracle.
Okay.
If Miriam agrees to this proposal, the proposal that is hashed at the end of this meeting,
Sure.
yeah. What will happen to the miners, the people that Olga cares about of Galatea? What is their stake in this like? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it the same?
How far can you see?
A week?
I don't think you see any difference.
I mean, the immediate thing that will happen is things will get much worse for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a collapse of a governmental system to deal with. But I think I think you maybe only see the fringes of this, but the way it fails, the way in which it fails, is a like revolt
Of the people?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think you see like stirrings from the normal people that, like, you know, the food is getting even slimmer, resources are getting even slimmer, more machines are breaking, we can't keep going like this, etc., etc., etc.
Could I use query data
I have an
to
idea. I have several.
ask a question, basically, about this
Sure.
potential future?
I always forget that my profile picture on Roll20 is the Blue Hulk.
What do I don't what is the main catalyst?
You.
What is the potential main catalyst, rather? What could a main catalyst be?
I mean,
The lack of the continuing reduction of the amount of supplies, general supplies, so whether that be food, whether that be like materials to repair equipment, so on. Yeah.
And that like happens quickly over the next week. Like there's a sudden drop. Like
No,
their
I mean, I
supplies
think
are
you
running
only
out.
see the outside like grumbling of that.
Okay.
Like, and I think that's something you already gathered while you were speaking to people. Yeah.
Okay. A week isn't enough time to get a full picture. There are infinite paths that it could go down, but if the resources keep getting low, if the people run out of what they need, they will not stand for the government, the ruling council. It's impossible to say whether or not their conditions improve after that, but if resources continue to dwindle, we see very few paths which there is not an uprising.
Commander says, that is our hope.
you know, I'm struck by this idea of magnanimity. What if you said you wanted Jansar to appear helpful even. What if you provide some relief, some food, some sundries? Not too much, maybe a bit of a delay to the spark, but positive for Yansar if you are seen as at least helping the people.
We would need a official request from the planet, from
Well,
the people on the planet.
I am technically on the board of governors.
She smiles. I know.
What if I put in this request?
She nods. I could see it was probably passed through the right channels. There would have to be the appropriate wait time, so things did not seem suspicious, but we could make things happen in the right way.
Yes. And make sure I take the credit.
Indeed.
A union. We think that's what it's called. The miners, the people, the non-psychics. You need to ensure that they get proper representation. A union.
Well,
I think the word you want is onion, Matt.
I think
Or is it
that
onion?
will come within the week. I'll have to talk with the people the miners respect. We need to earn some favors with those people. And Yansar relief is the best way I see to unite them under one direction.
The shitty band, though.
It will go a long way to helping your cause, the cause of Yansar, if you forgive past wrongs caused by the people of Galatea, allow them to travel within your system, the systems of the greater society. And that's what they want. If you give them that, give them the choice to start a new life, it would further your cause a lot. More than anything else.
Talk.
Oh, God.
Can I assist?
Sure.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to roll talk, but you're getting a +1.
Oh, shit.
How do you help, Miriam?
Yeah, I think I just say like.
You put your backing behind the idea, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose I just look at her and I say, after all, Yansar is a benevolent protectorate.
If I roll badly and can I use alternate outcome on this? Has it been enough time since I used it last and when I was in the mines?
I mean, it's been a day, right?
Time?
It needs to be a day.
Yeah. When did you use it in the mine? For the first guy?
Oh, I used it to for my role about like how many like people I could fix for.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. See what I get.
Well, you can try and re-roll that.
I mean, I take the highest one, and this is important to Olga, so yeah. So hopefully I roll better than a... Oh, I didn't do that. Hopefully I roll better than a 4 and a 2. Oh, that's intelligence, not charisma. 8. I'll take an 8.
9, yeah.
The +1's already there.
+1.
All right.
Okay, sure. She looks at Miriam because she knows Olga's not going to remember this. I will do what I can if that is your price.
That is our price.
She
We cannot
looks at
speak
you.
for Miriam.
Unfortunately, you are not the one with the influence that I need to get this done.
Then it's Miriam's price.
It's part of the price. You see, I have as part of the Black Sun's contract, they are willing to forgive some substantial bounties. Front the payment, as it were.
She raises an eyebrow. On who? And what bounties?
Yeah, I point to I suppose it just says purchase the bounty of runaway slaves, and there are 3 names.
She looks at them. This is quite the price.
Well, technically, they are supposed to pay for it, but it means the Psychic Academy might get destroyed in the crossfire. Hopefully, I can fulfill both, and you won't have to pay anything.
She. Do you want to roll talk for me?
Can I help?
Yeah.
Sure.
How do I help?
How do you help?
How
Yeah.
do you help?
In the grand scheme of things. Oh, let me roll talk. See if we get a +1. Yes, you do. So 13. In the grand scheme of things, 3 runaway slaves, even one as pricey as that. Sorry, indentured servants. 3 runaway indentured servants, no matter how pricey.
Did Olga make that mistake? Because if Olga said that, it's intentional, right? Like Olga didn't.
Yeah, Olga did that on purpose. Yeah, Olga yeah, because Olga believes they're slaves. There's no difference.
Yeah.
Because I am a slave.
Right. Their prices, I mean, high, but not the worth of an entire planet's production. Assuming Galatea succeeds, the project succeeds and they remain independent, under whatever shape that takes, they continue to supply you with valuable resources, and over the course of 100, 300, 400,000 years, that's worth far more than the lives of 3 servitude people under indentured servants. That's the word. I forgot it. And if it fails, you take control of the planet again, and the resources are yours anyway. In no way is paying this price worth more than or less than not.
She pauses for a second and says, I have my own condition if you want both met.
I have my ear.
Yansa and the Protectorate will clear the names of your 3 and look after those who work below, on the condition that what we have mentioned today happens and not before.
Like that means we're causing an uprising, Miriam.
That makes perfect sense to me. I am quite familiar with uprisings.
She nods.
Good because
I would also like to mention that Yansa values its association and its business dealings with the Black Sun. So this is not a thing that could happen or seem to happen from this meeting. Time must pass.
Of course. That also makes sense.
May we have a sidebar with
Hopefully-
Miriam momentarily?
Hopefully, both contracts get fulfilled, and you won't have to cancel anyone's debts except, look after the people once everything has been concluded.
She looks at Olga, nods. If you must.
Olga like scoots up close to Miriam.
I mean,
and-
she stands and leaves the room.
Okay. Should we mention the thing we told in the shuttle, the thing we told you about what we said? Should that be mentioned? That they know we're here?
No, they already know we're here. They saw the shuttle go up.
Should we tell Yan Sa that Black Suns know we're here?
I think they know.
Should we not just say it regardless to be open?
If you want to be blunt with her, sure.
Yes. So that's not a bad thing?
It's not going to make our position any worse
Okay,
because I came here in a Black Sun shuttle. You have to remember this.
of course. Assume she comes back in.
Yeah, I mean, if it looks like you've stopped talking,
Yeah, I just stare at her.
yeah, she steps back in and says, if you are done.
We need to disclose some information.
She sits.
Black Suns is aware we're here. We told their AI, White Sun.
She nods. She says, it is not as opportune as I would like that you directly told them, but
We were tricked.
we knew they would know.
Wasn't fair.
At least I have my cover story ready. I am basically asking for supplies and goods to the people of these vulnerable planets.
She nods. She says, when we are finished with this discussion, I will turn off the blocking to any recording devices and your AI. It would seem as if the conversation went from us mentioning that Yansa would never ask you to disclose the parts of a sealed contract to the discussion of terms for delivery of supplies to Galatea.
Perfect.
Before we finish, may we ask you one final question?
You may?
What is your opinion on choice? Do all humans deserve the same amount of choice? Or is there a reason some have less than others? Beyond greed? Or is it only greed?
She pauses for a while.
Before you answer, we don't wish to judge. We just wish to understand.
She says, if... Let me reverse the question. If I gave you two people, one, a protectorate officer, someone trained in the use of a firearm, someone who knows who to shoot and who to not, someone who knows the difference between an armed combatant and a civilian. And the second person I gave you was a criminal, a murderer, someone who does not care for the difference between an armed combatant and a civilian, someone who would happily and willingly kill anybody in front of them. And then I asked you, who do you give the gun to? Who do you choose?
We keep the gun for ourselves.
So you believe that neither of the persons deserve the choice of who to have, she would say, so you believe that neither of the persons in front of you deserve the choice of whether or not they can protect themselves?
No. That's not it. We just know what we'll do with the gun. There are many things they might do with the gun. We trust ourselves implicitly.
So you are removing that choice. Why?
Because we know we won't shoot anyone with the gun, and either of them might shoot anyone. The Yansar officer might be mentally impaired. He might have a psychotic break and go on a rampage. The murderer
So you are
might be
saying
kind-hearted.
you are saying there are other things that influence whether a person should have the choice or not.
They can go acquire their own guns. And this is our gun.
They can. But right now, you are choosing. You are choosing to remove that choice from their hands, no?
Our choice is to... They both stand on equal ground. Without a gun. We assume you mean they to get into a fight to the death or something. They fight with their hands now instead of one being armed and the other not.
She shakes her head. No. I mean, giving each person the opportunity to act as they would by their nature. This is what the protectorate does. What you said, your choice. Our choice in a lot of situations is whether we do something that is unknown or whether we put trust in ourselves to stop that unknown. It is the same decision you made. Sometimes we have to remove choice from people to make it best for them.
Your logic is flawed.
No, it is the same logic you used. You withheld the gun because you knew what you would do. We withhold things sometimes because we know what we would do. We do not know what they would do. It is the same choice you made. Your choice was with a gun. Ours, sometime, with a ship. I would argue that a ship can kill more people than a gun.
So you say, yes, some people require less choice because it's not predictable. Again, we're not judging. We wish to understand.
It is the same choice you made when given the question.
Thank you for your answer.
Well, I hope this was educational.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I think she reaches out and she presses on her compad. And Olga, what did you roll? So 82% of that conversation is gone. Just out of existence. You don't remember it. It never happened.
Can I remember that last dialogue?
Yeah, I mean that can be your 18%. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, like the rest of that conversation didn't exist. And then she said, and it's kind of, I mean, it's jarring in a sense, because you've gone from we would never ask you to disclose parts of a signed sealed corporate contract to discussion about choice to then her saying, with that said, I would ask that if you, Ms. Santos, have any requests for us, Yansar, as assistance for the planet below, you would send them through to my office. I will fast track any such requests. We only wish the best for the people of Galatea.
As do I. A pleasure talking with you.
We believe
And
there's
you.
something wrong with our hardware.
Miss Santos.
And she stands and she says, the light displays in the corridors beyond will lead you back to the shuttle. I have business to attend to. Thank you for coming aboard.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, and she leaves.
We make our pleasantries and we head off towards the shuttle.
Yep.
Come now, Harold.
Our name's Olga.
Yes.
Augur, Harold, Harold.
He's clearly Harold. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
What has
Alright.
Tail been up to, Quack and Liam?
Sweet.
Yeah. So we head back. Meanwhile.
Yeah, and I mean, what has Tail been doing in the meantime?
Tail has gone to find Professor Harold, whatever, however you
I'll
say
be
it.
back.
Yeah, I mean,
Just both just leave.
he's busy, right? Like he's
I
doing
want to listen,
shit.
but I have to pee really bad.
And he's doing. I think Ingrid greets you, and she says, "Tail, how can I help you?"
I've come to talk to Professor Harold. Or you maybe. I need to get the brand removed. It makes everything hard. I can't think clearly. I
She
need it
nods.
gone.
She says, "As I'm sure you know, there has been developments recently that have required our attention. But I've worked on something. I don't know exactly how effective it will be or how long it will last for, but I have I guess you could call it a serum. We've used it in the past for students who have trouble connecting to their gifts. It is a more temporary solution, but it will work. I'm sure.
Do you think it will help me concentrate, my thinking?
She nods. I do. Like I said, it's temporary and doesn't last for extended periods of time, but for each use you should get 3, 4, maybe 5 hours.
That's not enough. I need it gone.
She nods. I know, but things have been difficult here lately. There has been turmoil, and
My
there is.
entire life has been turmoil.
She nods. I know.
3 or
is the
5
best I
hours is
have.
not enough. It's not enough. I need to be free of it. Is there anything?
I could remove it now, this second, but it'd kill you. Almost guaranteed. 96.5% chance.
Are you sure it's that dangerous?
Yes.
How is it dangerous? What will it do to me?
If the thing that is blocking you changes the way a mind works. Think of it if you have a river, and in the river you have a dam, but the dam has a hole. The hole is what you're going to experience, what you are. The river is what you should be. I can remove it, but it would be akin to using explosives, an atom bomb. It is just as likely to take everything with it.
Is there no other way to do it safely? Perhaps you could get others from the university to help you.
There is no one with the time or skill. Everyone who does is, well, we're in a state of crisis. It is a question of survival of the whole world, our independence.
It is a question of my independence as well, my survival.
It is the choice between one and thousands, hundreds of thousands. I'm sorry, but it's not a hard choice to make.
Then, it's hard to think.
I know. These
No,
will
you
help.
don't.
Yes, I do. And these will help. Like I said, 4, 5 hours at a time, maybe longer. It depends on the person. I have. And she like looks. Do you want to roll talk for me?
Talk. Let's see how bad I fail it. Horribly.
They're always an F for me if you've rolled.
5.
Yeah. Okay. She looks down at like the like whatever storage container she has of them. And she seems to be thinking for a second. Then she looks back up, shakes her head slightly, and like hands them to you. She says, "Here. It is 10 vials, 1 dose each. Each dose, like I said, for 5, maybe longer. It's the best I can do for now, until this situation is over and we might be able to work on it more."
Thank you. At least that's something.
We use them for people who have trouble connecting to the maelstrom mostly. But what it does is, well, it bypasses links. You can think of it, we have the river and the dam. This carves a new path for a time until the mud and dirt, the debris in the river, fills it back up.
I think I understand.
I'm sorry I can't do more.
So am I. Thank you. I think I need to try something. I take the vials and goodbye.
Sure. Yeah.
Tail
There you
goes
go.
find a private room somewhere.
Yeah, I mean there are plenty. You can find one pretty easily.
She looks at the vial and chugs it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's almost immediate. It's the same effect we had when we saw Tail like kind of properly in the maelstrom.
Yeah. She like takes a moment and gets her surroundings before sitting down to meditate, trying to once again directly contact the void.
Damn.
Okay.
What am I rolling?
Probably a like telekinesis skill check. If you can do that, if you can do
Yeah.
skill checks by individual discipline, then you can.
Yeah. And you should be pretty good at it.
Constitution or Dex?
No, like telepathy.
Wisdom. Yeah,
No,
wisdom.
it's still a skill check.
Yeah,
Oh,
wisdom.
Wisdom or Constitution.
Yeah,
whatever
wisdom.
you.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, whatever
Wisdom.
you use.
9.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we sit. What do we see?
We
What does this
see
look like?
Tail sitting on the empty floor with nothing around her other than a box of vials. She takes a deep breath, and the brand on her glows slightly, but as it's being disrupted by this chemical thing,
Yeah.
it doesn't go as much as it normally would. And
Sure.
and after a moment, it flutters out before Tail like takes a sharp breath, and whatever happens.
Yeah, okay. So you see, I think we see like an external view of Tail sitting there. And the camera zooms out and we see Galatea as a world, and the camera zooms out and we see the solar system that contains Galatea, and the camera zooms out and we see a swath of the galaxy that contains Galatea, and out and out and out, and then gradually, ever so slightly, we see lights this picture, this spacescape, we see lights like blinking out. I think maybe we don't notice them at first, but eventually enough of them start to go out that we start seeing more dark space than we were seeing before, and more and more and more, until there is more dark than there is light. And I think again we hear the same, like, "We are watching," and then Tail is like ejected from it.
So
And I think the "We are." Does Tail have any? I guess any like trainers or mentors or like connections she has through the Maelstrom that isn't like before Augur, or is Augur like the earliest one you've had?
Augur's the most recent and the most vivid in her memory, but before she
Cool.
was
So
kidnapped, she
that
would have.
Yeah, I mean, so if Augur's the most vivid in your memory, that "We are watching" is in Augur's voice.
Fucking what?
But yeah, like before she was kidnapped, she was at not a psychic school, but a church
Sure.
who studied the void.
Yeah. So no, if Augur's the most vivid in your memory at that time, the "We are watching" is in Augur's voice.
Is it menacing? What's the tone?
I don't think there is one. It's neutral. It's just "We are." It sounds like Augur saying "We are watching."
Does it sound robotic like Augur, or does it sound natural?
Augur's voice sounds natural.
Exactly as Augur would say it.
Okay.
We are watching.
That's not creepy at all. But yeah, then Tail just wakes up out of it and goes, "Okay then, that's new." I think that's where we end that.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
good job, Craig.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, I think that's a cool moment to wrap up this week.
Yeah, that's fucking dope. Holy shit. That was wicked. Whoa. Anyone have any goals?
I've done 2, maybe 3. Most likely 2.
All right,
I'll go
start with you
first.
then, Tao.
My first goal is, I have no idea what Augur is. I will learn from him to see how he sees the world. Which I think I did when I asked him why he's acting differently now. What do you think, Augur?
Yeah, this is an Augur question.
What was the exact phrasing?
I will learn how he sees the world. Like metaphorically, not physically.
I will learn from him how he sees the world.
Yeah.
What was that conversation? Like
you explained to me your views on choice and shit.
Yeah, maybe Tail didn't I don't think anyone realized before how much stock Augur places on choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like choice is incredibly important to Augur.
So
Yeah.
did you count that one?
Yeah.
My next goal, which I don't really think I did, but I'll read it anyway. I feel useless here and unable to help anyone. I will find something that helps people here in some way, which I really don't think I did. And my final goal is, the void speaks to me and it's time to speak back. I will find somebody or something that can help me do it.
Yep.
Hey. And then this is my overarching goal, which is remove the brand.
Yep. Who wants to go next?
I level up.
Really?
I can go.
Yeah.
I can go.
Yeah.
I am a merchant. I get paid. Take whatever offer the academics are willing to give me.
Back down from your old position a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Look, I took what they offered. I'm gonna improve it. Tail is naive and need to learn about my world. Get her to reveal her logic. Like that was why we had a conversation before.
The thing is, Tail doesn't even understand her own logic.
Yeah. Well, I tried.
Which I did explain to you. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you have it.
And what do you want? Make a deal with Yansar.
Definitely did that.
Yeah.
Yep.
and pass some talk checks to get that to happen. So, hell yeah.
Well, I level up. I get to 18.
Nice.
I don't think I level up.
Okay.
Okay, my first goal is a returning goal. Humanity is a peculiar thing. We will learn something new about them.
What did you learn about humanity today, Olga?
Today we learnt that, what's my exact phrasing? Not all humans are equal in choice, which we learnt from the miners of Galatea. And then according to the commander of the Burgundy Light, some people are required to have less choice because they're unpredictable.
Okay.
Just saying, the Burgundy Light sounds like some kind of cheap beer
It was
or
Matt's-
wine.
It was
that was
Matt's
Liam's
name.
exact comment.
Yeah.
It's like a cheap beer or wine.
Our second goal is White Sun has shown us that some... I can't read it on there properly. White Sun has shown us that some live without a real choice. We will endeavor to give them as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, we work fucking hard for that.
Yep.
And then our final one is there are many paths White Sun may go down. We will convince him to walk down ours.
Nope.
I don't think you convinced White Sun of anything just yet.
No.
You still can, and it's still a goal you can definitely achieve, but I don't
Yeah.
think you've convinced him yet.
Oh my god, I leveled up.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm
Surely-
gonna get the miners to proclaim me
Barely.
emperor for life. Don't worry.
If I accepted the pity
Sweet.
XP from last time, I would start this next track with 1 XP, but I refuse to accept that pity XP.
But yeah, we are now level 5. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look-
we now get to pick focus.
Oh, we do.
Yay.
God. Oh, fuck.
I now have the ability to blow people's brains up should I take it.
All right. So,
Before we go, does anyone have anything else to say?
I might start streaming next week sometime. I've got it all set up.
There we go. What's your Twitch channel?
Quackamungus at Twitch.
Sweet.
Whatever the Twitch URL is.
That's KWAKMU.
A.
Oh, A. Oh, I forgot the second A.
KWAKAMUNGUS.
Twitch.com or Twitch.com/that.
Yada yada yada.
So on and so
and
forth.
then all of these VODs are uploaded to this YouTube channel. I got there in the end. Last week's episode is not up yet, but it will go up on the weekend most hopefully. And personal plug, my first ever plug. If you want to come watch me play a card game from 2009 that Liam and Quack relentlessly shit on, come check me out. Come check my Twitch channel out. It's just Kotuhi. Twitch.com/ whatever.
Spell it.
Kotuhi.
Just spell it.
Oh,
He put it in chat.
Kotuhi. And we play a
Sweet.
game called Wizard 101 there, which is amazing. Don't listen to the
It's a
naysayers,
shitty
it's
card game
fantastic.
with really weird graphics.
It's fantastic. It's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So and I guess for those who might watch this on YouTube at some point, we don't. I mean, I've said this to a few people. Most of the reason why I love uploading and recording these games is for my own pleasure. Like I will often go back and rewrite up like accounts of games, or take a character from a game and write up the story from their perspective. So having the record of what happened is super helpful for me.
It's useful for note taking.
Yeah, and like we kind of started doing it originally because we had some like awesome games and some awesome moments that just were gone because we didn't record them, and that was sad, and I didn't want that to happen again, so we record and stream our games.
Even if nobody watches them.
Yeah, like I don't care.
Yeah.
That's not the point of why I'm doing this. But if you are watching, fuck yeah, thank you. We stream all of this live on my Twitch channel, which is a small time gamer. I don't have to spell that. That's all normal words. You can figure that out.
I'll put
And if
all
you can't,
three. I'll put it in the description.
Yeah, I'll put it. It's fine. So if you want to watch this live, we stream generally starting about 7:30 p.m. Adelaide time, which is plus 9:30 GMT, because I'm in a weird time zone where it's half an hour as well, because the fuck me, right? So if you want to watch it
most Friday nights.
Speaking of
at-
time, is daylight saving affecting anything soon?
Oh god, let's
Probably.
not think about that yet.
Nah, that's a problem for another day. So yeah, if you want to watch and you're watching this on YouTube and you want to hang out live, come down. We will. You'll probably just see us making fun of each other in chat because that's what
We do pay attention to the chat, and I do make fun of Matt in it.
We do, yeah. And, we'll talk to you in chat and make fun of
Okay.
each other, and it's great. So swing by, have fun, come say hello.
Sweet.
That's it. I think.
Thank you all
Thank
so
you
much
for
for
watching.
watching. By all, I mean me while I'm editing this. See you next week. Same time, same place. Have a
Bye.
fun week.